Welcome to Everyday Life. Thank you for joining our podcast, Conversations Over Coffee. My name is Jen.
And I'm Dagda.
And we're going to hit you with the explicit content warning right off the bat. This podcast does include adult situations and adult language from time to time.
I'm an angel. I never fucking cuss.
Okay. Anyways, you ready to go?
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's go.
Alrighty then.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's actually...
A lot better.
Yeah.
Is it recording me too? It's not recording me.
Yes, it is.
No. Wah, 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 wah.
Dweebus.
I'm a creep. I'm a weirdo. Do it vaudevillian style.
Oh, man.
Uncle Man.
There was a dude that was on the... I don't remember if it was Loveline. I'm pretty sure it was some show with Adam Carolla. And he would make...
Speaking of redacted.
He would make like weird... I don't know. I don't think it was vaudeville, but he would make like lounge music based off of like rock and stuff like that. Like metal music and stuff.
Okay.
It was very interesting to listen to it because it's like, you know, you're used to Metallica being Metallica.
Right. Not, hey, daddy.
Yeah.
Exit light. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not used to that. It's really interesting because nowadays a lot of people are taking like Taylor Swift songs and, I just don't know enough about these modern ladies. I don't know another way to say it.
Sure.
But like Carly Rae Jepsen, something, Carly Rae, and like Selena Gomez, and like who's the little tiny thing that weighs like a buck? Ariana Grande, like all they're taking their music, which are more traditionally like pop and everything, and they're turning it into rock, which I think is really interesting. But it doesn't quite sound right when you turn rock into pop.
I do it the other way around.
It sits a little weird in my ears. And there's this guy, and I don't know his name. I've seen two different videos, but he's done two different pop songs in the style of System of a Down.
Oh, okay.
And one of them, I was just like, okay, I could actually listen to that music. That'd be fine. Because it was an artist like in the regular pop culture. I'm just like,
yeah, whatever.
Right. And then the other one, I was just like, yeah, I don't even think my deaf cousin from another mother would like that. But it's all personal preference too.
Yeah.
I still have that song I hear often in my head where it's the mashup as well. Mm-hmm. And it's so funny because as soon as you and I started talking about it, that shit shows up on my FYP. That kind of shit where it's like mashups.
Okay.
And it's just like, how fucking annoying that is. Like, Google, stop listening to my conversations. Because I know it has to be coming from my phone because I don't have a microphone or anything on my desktop.
Yeah.
We're very... I don't know, maybe this household's paranoid. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, your laptop also has a microphone built into it, but that thing's turned off most of the time.
Yeah, it's turned off because it's set to this, and then once this shuts down, there shouldn't be receiving anything, except for the gremlins that live in the keyboard is probably like, oh, well, she was having a great day with not saying anything weird and feeling paranoid about people listening to her. Ha, 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 ha. We're going to make her listen.
Wow.
Right. I'm telling you, that is how I feel just when I get my paranoia and my Rockwell emotions under control. Something new shows up on an FYP page, and it's just like, there is nobody who knows about that because I was the only one in the house. I wasn't even near my phone. Yes, I was, but I didn't say anything to another living human, and it just freaks me the fuck out. Just like the first time I started seeing bulldogs show up on my FYP was after my partner and I had talked about my little corgi legs, short little legs. And he said, he made some comment or reference to, I don't think there's, I think corgi's right, because I don't think there's any other dogs out there with shorter legs than that. And I honestly, when I might have the personality of a corgi because I have long hair, But I'm built more like a bulldog. That makes sense to me, you know?
I was going to say, I haven't seen you running around trying to herd people around.
Have you known me any of my life? I'm sorry, sir. Can you please go to a different area? Because that's not allowed. Yeah, yes. I spent 15 years hurting people. That's not for today. So anyways, hey, everybody. Welcome back.
Hey, now.
It's kind of been a weird day.
Yeah.
We've got, for me, I'm lucky. My gas has decided, so I'm not choking you out today. That's awesome. But then we're having like this weird, for unknown, out of no fucking where reason, technical difficulties.
Yeah.
And it's just like, listen.
Linda,
listen.
Listen, honey. Listen to me.
No, listen to me. When I go to grandma and grandpa's, there's no papaos. God, I love that. That video is like, what, 15 years old now?
Probably something like that.
I saw a video a few years ago, that kid grown up, like older and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, nah, I'll go back to Listen Linda because it's just so cute.
No papaos.
No papao. I love that. No papaos. When we go to grandma's house, we can do anything we want, and we don't get no papaos. It's, if you haven't seen it, it's Listen Linda is, I think that's the name of the video.
Yeah, probably.
Or you can at least find it easily on YouTube. It's great. And all I know is like, I remember watching that video and I was just like, boy, I would have given him some papaos for that shit.
Yeah.
But that's just me. And I don't know. So true story. I swatted my nephew's bottom one time, one swat on his diaper one time. And I felt so wretched about it. I felt so horrible about it. I did not let myself eat or sleep for 3 days. I was only allowed to have cigarettes and coffee, and I wasn't allowed to sleep because I was a horrible human. I thought I was a horrible human. Mm. It's the one and only time I've ever swatted a child. Mm. I remember my ex-husband's nieces, they hated their punishment, which was if they got out of line, they had to do timeout.
Okay.
And they hated it. And I remember the older of the two girls looking at me one time and just in tears. She's just like, would you just hit me and get it over with? I'd rather you just spank me. Like, wow. I don't know. That's just not me. I don't believe in training animals that way. I don't believe in training humans that way. I felt horrible for my nephew, who I figure the reason why, even though he's about to be 29, I feel like he still holds it against me. I know, isn't that funny? Because we only get to see each other on like holidays and we might text on birthdays and that's about it. Because he's got his own full life. He's got a ton of animals and he's got his own full life and he does his own, I don't know if he's still doing his YouTube thing or if he's just gaming a lot. I mean, I don't know. But I always feel like he's still holding it against me. Mm. And then sometimes I want to be like, but I'm not the auntie who tried to force feed you food. Just remember that.
I remember one time
at EOD school.
No.
I told you I was going to start saying that.
Yeah. One time at my grandparents' house, I was probably like, I don't know, probably like 15 or something. Mm-hmm. And my cousins, Monica, Molly, and Michael were at my house, the M&M kids.
Nice.
And
my name is... Sorry. I'm listening. I'm being nice.
Anyway, they were there for breakfast, and my grandmother was making like scrambled eggs and stuff.
Okay.
And I was fucking starving, and she fucking gave Michael fucking scrambled eggs third. Uh-huh. She fed Molly and Monica first, yeah, and then she gave Michael some, and I'm like sitting there, I'm like fucking starving, so I took his plate. And then when Grandma came over, I gave him my plate. Uh-huh. And he's like, it was, the reason she had fed me last was because she gave me the biggest portion. Uh-huh. But I didn't realize that was what she was doing. I was like, man, give me your fucking...
I'm going to beat your ass. I'm fucking hungry, jackass.
And so he looked at me because it was a lot. Of eggs. He looked at me and he got fucking, his eyes started tearing up. He's like, I can't eat all this. Jesus.
You're like, give me the fucking plate, bitch.
Like, shut up, stop crying, bitch. I can't eat all this, too much. Like,
just shovel some of it over to the plate.
Stop crying. Here, take it.
Were you older or younger than him?
No, I'm the oldest.
So you're the oldest, so he was just being a crybaby.
I mean, he was little.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. You have this stare that happens when you're agitated. So I imagine if you looked at him and you were like, he probably thought he was in prison. He probably tells his kids the story. Like this one time, my cousin reacted. Yeah, we were having breakfast and Grandma tried to feed me before him, and he put me in my place. He stole my food and told me to shut up and quit crying.
Yeah.
You're such a mean cousin.
I know, right?
Not really, but I imagine, like, how many years older are you than him?
I'm probably like maybe, well, I'm definitely probably like 12 years older than him. Monica was the oldest.
Oh my God.
And she's 4
poor
years.
Kid.
She's 4 years younger than me.
That poor kid was probably skinny and traumatized for life.
Yeah. One time when I came home after I was in the Army, when I came home after basic training,
yeah,
he was still pretty little. And anyway, we were wrestling around. And I grabbed him by his ears.
Oh, fuck.
And he grabbed my wrists, right? And I was like, okay, I'm going to pick you up. He's like, okay. And so I picked him up, and basically all of his weight was on my wrists.
Right. I know how that works.
But his mother came out and saw me doing that. She fucking screamed and came over and started slapping me. He's just a little boy. I'm like, okay, Jesus. He's so much smaller than you. Where is it? And like I wasn't actually picking him up by his ears. He was holding my wrists.
I'm just surprised you handled it so well, because you don't like it when anybody gets into your space uninvited.
Yeah.
And I can imagine there was that split Sherlock Holmes second where it's like, solar plexus punch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I have a lot.
She must have been a tiny woman.
Yeah, she's pretty small.
Because it's just like when you tell that story, all I see is like basically the size of a 7-year-old.
Yeah, he's probably about that. Yeah.
You know, being held on to. And then all I see is like a little tiny, like, I don't know, Miss C or Miss Q size woman running up to you and batting at you with the little T-Rex arms.
It's just a little boy.
I'm trying to make him into a man.
Yeah.
You should have done that. What was you
She probably would have murdered me if I did that.
How? She couldn't even reach the fucking she probably wasn't anywhere near as tall as you.
No.
She probably still could put both arms in the air and not reach the top of your head to choke you.
She was a fierce mama bear. That's how.
Rawr.
Now, I have a lot more tolerance for family members touching me.
Yeah.
But like my cousins, there's a kind of a joke in my family that all my cousins use me for a jungle gym.
Yeah.
And so I would wrestle with them, and they'd always be crawling all over me.
Climbing on you, yeah.
Yeah, and like 2 and 3 of them at a time would be fucking trying to wrestle me and shit. Even like some of them's children does this, and it's like they just know for some fucking reason.
Yeah.
I don't think any of my cousins have told their kids, "Hey, go wrestle him." They just fucking do it.
I don't know.
And they might, because some of them are dicks like that.
Right. And you're just like, don't worry, I'm keeping track, because the day I figure out you did it on purpose, I'm going to make you eat all them eggs.
Yeah. One of my cousins' favorite refrains is, "I'm not a scared of you."
I'm not a scared. If they say I'm not a scared, they're scared.
I'm not scared of you.
Yeah.
Anyways,
that's so fantastic. And you know what's funny? is the one picture you have. And I don't know if you're in a train or a wagon. Which one is it?
So it's a wagon, and then the tractor has a thing on it that makes it look like a train, a train engine.
So what's funny about that picture when I think about it, so I mean, obviously it's been a few weeks since I've seen it, but when I think about it, just the look on your face, like, go ahead and try to move me. We'll see what happens. A lot of your pictures have a devious look to your face, like, go ahead and fuck with me. Let's see what happens. I imagine your cousins were like, I really want to play with him because he's so cool. Until you threaten to beat their ass for crying about eggs. And then you're not their favorite anymore. Did I say your name?
I don't know. Maybe. Well, we'll have to re-listen to it. And
I'm like, I don't care. I mean, you might be at the point where you're like, ladies, say my name, say my name. When you're alone in the dark and devious thoughts come to mind. It's not for this. Anyways.
Yeah.
Anyways, what do you want to talk about today?
The thing on the notepad. I don't know.
Well, here's the thing. So you guys already know that we do this thing where he shakes a whole bunch of like, how many came in the bag the other day? 170 dies.
No, there's not that many in there.
He brings like 503 dies and he shakes them, throws them everywhere. And then he goes, this is the numbers. So you already know that we do this to pull off a list.
Alyssa Milano.
Yeah, there you go. To pull off of the list and organize it. So here's the thing. The numbers he pulled were kind of crazy and so random. And it's like really all over the board. And when I look at it, it's like, oh, we kind of already talked about this. And we already kind of talked about that. And not even because it was just like we were looking at a list or anything. It was just one of those random happenstance things.
Yeah.
And so anyways, and then I was just like, oh, we kind of talked about this and we kind of talked about that as well. So, I kind of have a hard time going off of the list because I'm like, I don't want to be a Pete the Repeat parrot. Not yet. Do you remember that thing?
So,
do you remember Pete the Repeat?
That cousin Michael?
Uh-huh.
He's the one that I told you that story where I was like, Pete and Repeat fell out of a boat. Pete and Repeat are in a boat. Pete falls out. Who's left? And he would be.
Oh, he was the one who got frustrated?
Yeah, he was the one who kept saying it over and over and over again. So I just kept saying it. He was getting so mad. It was so fucking funny. Pete and Repeat! Repeat!
Right?
Repeat! Of course, he was like 7 or 8 or something at the time. And yeah, he was getting so angry, which is why I kept doing it.
Right? Well, that is the funny thing about you is although you don't generally like to piss people off, it is amusing to you when somebody gets irritated over something as silly, something that is literally such a logical, like quizzical problem. Mm-hmm. If somebody gets mad, you're kind of like, you want to egg it on and it's not devious all the time. Like I'm defending you here. So watch what you say. Right. But it's more like you're trying to teach people a little better. Pay attention to what you're hearing. Pay attention to what you're saying. Either that or you just like to torture little kids when you want to.
Yes, Michael. Pete and Repeat were in a boat. Pete falls out. Who's left?
Repeat!
I'm sure he learned that lesson.
I bet he did. So we'll do a couple of the things on this list because like I said, it was weird because we kind of already touched on one, but honestly, here's the thing. I know we kind of touched on one of them, but I don't know if it went on to the recording that happened during the super sugar high that I'm kind of embarrassed we even did because we couldn't remember what we were saying like 2 minutes prior. Literally, if there was a camera set up in here, when I looked at you and said, wait, what were we talking about? The look of concentration on our faces, trying to remember what we had just said, you would have thought we were high as kites. I mean, we were sugar high, but we weren't on any other kind of drugs, but we were both like so confused. So we'll touch a couple of these and Allegedly. Yeah, I don't want your doctor to hear that you had a bunch of sugar one day and had a hard crash out. Anyways, so one of the things that I found interesting on this list, and the wording of it wasn't quite right. So when we talked about the list, and all of that. And I was like, well, maybe we just won't do this one because it's funny, but it's not funny. We were talking about comments and compliments.
Okay.
Women versus men.
Yeah.
And it makes him so angry that I can go up to almost anybody and give him a compliment. And it's not creepy and it's not weird. I usually get a jiggle.
I mean, sometimes you get that too.
Sometimes I do get that. But I usually get a little bit of a giggle and a thank you. But if you were to do the exact same thing, you'd almost get slapped, which is so weird that we have this in our society where, and I haven't figured out if it's just because men don't know how to compliment or because we have kind of been taught for the last 30 years that the opposing sex is only after one thing and one thing only. You dirty.
And it's disgusting.
Yes, you guys dirty and just want to deep dick everything.
Yeah.
So I didn't know if this was the appropriate channel for
it. Especially if it's apple pie.
This one time at EOD school, I stuck my finger in some C4. He's actually trying to recall if he did.
No, we had a special tool. You have a... So when your C4 won't blow up on its own, so you have to put a blasting cap or something in it.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a special tool that you have to poke the hole to stuff the blasting cap inside of it. Yeah, I was like, did I ever? No, I think it's kind of stiff.
Did you shove it in with your finger? Did you always use the tool, or did you shove it in with your finger?
If I remember correctly, because it's been a long time since I messed with this stuff. This stuff is too stiff, really, to be making a clean hole by sticking.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
It's a lifestyle.
Unless you're like a fucking monkey fist master.
Well, the thing is I didn't know if this was really the right place to talk about it in a serious manner, or if it's something we should say for after dark when we've got some tips and tricks and all that kind of shit. We're going to add into that stuff. So I didn't know if it was appropriate or not. But one thing I will say is that when it comes to the regards of comments and compliments, I do think women overall are luckier because they are generally able to give compliments to anybody. However, here's the caveat to that. If they're a married man or a man that's with the woman and you want to compliment that man, you should probably compliment her first. Take the compliment from him. Like if you're going to be like, wow, your eyes are just, ooh, I saw your eyes. Your eyes are glowing. Those are awesome. That's great. Like whatever. I've done that to people before. But I actually have ran into a man with like super blue eyes before over at the store, but he was with a girl. And I started to say something, and instead of staring at him, I just immediately turned to her and I'm like, you have such pretty eyes. Saved my own skin there because she probably would have popped me one. I mean, she was like the size of Miss Q, so I would have just held my finger out and held her back. Little tiny, but anyways, so I don't know if this is the right forum to really talk about it. Because I know that I have given compliments that you're like gotten very frustrated because you're like, oh yeah, sure. But if I say that,
yeah, I'm
like, yeah, 100%. You're a total perv.
I mean, I don't get angry about it, but it is kind of like, yep. Anyway.
Well, and it's funny because, I'm sure some of these random ladies that I've given compliments to or whatever, I'm sure, and the hugs they've given me, I'm sure you would have enjoyed those smushy hugs.
Yeah.
And it's funny because we were talking about this a little bit off mic. I think yesterday, maybe.
Maybe.
I think it was yesterday. It was sometime in the recent past. Sometimes in the recent area, right? Okay, yeah. Because if it's can't say, yeah, it would be the recent past because it recently happened and that time is past.
Yes.
I'm saying it right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So anyways, I reminded you because you're just like, it's just, we can't say the same things to people. Mm-hmm. And I disagree because most of the time it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And
sure. Most of the time. Sure.
I would say 75% of the time, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. Because I've dead ass when I've been single. I want to make that really clear in case my partner is listening to this podcast. When I have been a single woman, I have dead ass looked at women and been like,
damn, girl,
I want you to sit on my face. I have said that to women before. And no, is that an appropriate thing to say in public? No, because it was not in a bar setting, because I haven't been in a bar in like a long time. Have I said it before? Yes. When I was single, or at least not when I was with my partner that I'm with now.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because I'm like, well, yeah, if you were to say that, that totally would be inappropriate, but why was it not inappropriate for me to say it?
Yeah.
But, and so we were having that little tit for tat back and forth about, and you're like, yeah, sometimes it is like how you say it, but there's still, you know, you just, and I'm like, look, I don't know what it is about me. I think what it is I think people can see the genuinity I have, how genuine I am when I say things, and the honesty I have. Because you and I have been traveling back from the other side of the state, and we were out a little bit south of where we're at now, and you were with me. Because this is how I've always been. And you were with me, and we dead ass pulled up next to a car full of girls, and I rolled down my fucking window and I was like, Jesus fucking Christ, you're hot. You are so beautiful. The look this motherfucker gives me, like, what? Was it the driver or the passenger? I was like, I would love to fucking take you home and spank you. I don't remember which one it was. I just know that's what I said or something thereabouts. And this motherfucker is sitting in the passenger seat like you were just dead. You were just like, you're like, I can't fucking do that. And I'm like, well, I don't know what to tell you, but I mean, like, what are they going to do? Get mad? What are they gonna do? Like chase me down? Be like, oh, there! I gave you a compliment. Fuck off if you don't like it. Just say, excuse me, ma'am. Please don't give me compliments like that. And I'll be like, sweet, no problem. They were hot though.
Yeah.
I mean, they weren't as hot. They were more hot to me than they were to you because they were all blondes. Not a single one of them was a brunette, so they were hotter to me than you.
I need 4 non-blondes.
And I said, hey,
what's going on?
Well, yes, he did. He was just, back then, though, it wasn't commonplace to have like these dash cams and interior recording dash cams.
Yeah.
If we would have had it then, oh man, I could have made $1 million just off the look of your face. Like,
you would have had to have $1 million to have a fucking dash cam back then.
Oh, I know. They were like $800 back then.
Yeah.
It was like, are you fucking kidding me?
Now you can get them for like $40, although those are shit ones, but still.
Yeah. Bogey's got one, and I think he has 2, and they might have been like $100. And I don't know, it's pretty good, but yeah, it's like, it's really hard. I already have a car that up until this, like 2 months ago, has been a high theft rate vehicle. And then they finally fucking figured out that my car, even though my insurance is still sky high because I have a high theft vehicle, just because of the brand and shit, it's not actually one of the ones that you can steal like that because it doesn't have any of the remote shit in it. It doesn't have that. Fucking mugginess today, man. Anyways.
One of the things I was thinking about with regards to men not being able to say things to women that a woman could get away with. Well, you can say it, but there's going to be negative repercussions most likely. It kind of, I mean, I already learned the lesson before I studied this, but when I was studying neuro-linguistic programming, there was a sort of a principle that they talked about in there. Now, bear in mind, this principle is for the purpose of therapy.
Okay.
So it's in the context of a therapy session.
Okay.
And the principle goes something like this. The meaning of your communication is the response that you get. Now, the kind of purpose of communicating is the sharing of ideas, right?
Right.
But when you say something to somebody, you don't necessarily know how they're going to interpret it or how they're going to take it, right?
Right.
And so if you're trying to, let's say you're trying to explain a concept to somebody.
Right.
If you know the concept.
Right.
And I don't know the concept, it doesn't do a whole lot of good if you get frustrated while you're trying to tell it to me and I don't understand it. Because maybe I can't understand it, but also because maybe I'm stupid. Right.
It's not even maybe you're stupid. Maybe you've never been around the situation.
Yeah. But also maybe the way you're describing it, I'm not understanding what you're describing. So it doesn't do any good for the purpose of communicating.
Right.
If one of us gets upset and calls the other one dumb or just gives up.
Right.
Right. Now, obviously, And so obviously somebody has to take responsibility kind of for the exchange.
Right.
And so in this context,
Mm-hmm.
the therapist is the one who kind of needs to take responsibility.
Yeah.
Even though sometimes the other person's just not going to get it or not going to get it at this time. Or they're going to, and they might understand, because this happens a lot. People will understand what you're saying, but they'll disagree with you.
Yeah.
Which is fine, unless they're disagreeing just because they don't like what you're saying.
Yeah.
Or they just don't like you, because that happens a lot.
Oh, yeah.
It's very common that somebody will tell you the sky is blue, and because you don't like them, you'll be like, fuck you. No, it's not.
It's azure. I did that to somebody once, but that's not the point.
And so anyway, the meaning of your communication is the response that you get has been something that I've kept with me ever since I learned about it. And not because it's necessarily correct all the time. A lot of times, like I was saying, there's cases where it's not going to be fucking useful to kind of try to follow that guiding principle.
Yeah.
Because like I said, sometimes people are just not going to fucking get it, or they're not going to care or whatever. And it's not really useful to sit there and try to educate them or share something with them that they're just going to refuse.
Yeah, there's a lot of people out there who want to have the conversation, and they say they, quote, want to, I want to understand how you see it. And when you try to explain it to them in very definitive terms, then it's, I don't understand. You're not explaining it right. First of all, there's a difference between explaining something right and explaining something to where I or you could understand.
Yeah.
And that's, I really strongly dislike it when people say, you're not explaining it right. You're using the wrong words. You're saying it wrong. It's your fault for this misunderstanding. It's your fault for this communication because you're doing it wrong. No. If I tell you the sky interpreted by my eyes is a shade of blue, and you say, no, it's not, it's cerulean. Cerulean's a shade of blue, motherfucker. But I generally don't respond that way.
Yeah.
I generally say, oh, that's kind of cool that you see it that way. And I try not to, I've gotten to the point in my life where I try to use that principle of either they're being difficult because they don't like me, or maybe they truly don't understand the definition of words. Because to really understand the definition of words, you've got most words out there have 2 to 3 definitions. And when you go through a dictionary and you read these definitions, they almost always give you sample sentences.
Yeah.
So if you don't understand other than, if you don't understand mayhaps, if you don't understand the word mayhaps, then you're going to have a whole lot of issues in my life.
Yeah.
Because I've been told, mayhaps. And it took me a while to understand that it's basically maybe yes, maybe no.
Yeah.
Undetermined at this point. But yeah, when people get angry, and it's always so silly to me because it's like, why don't you just say, I know what you're saying sounds correct to you. But I'm not understanding what you're saying because I don't understand what azure is. I don't understand what the sky, whatever it is, whatever your problem is. But people get like really defensive and on the attack.
Yeah.
Anyways, sorry. Squirrel, drink.
So going back to that thing, and the being able to say stuff to women as a woman versus being able to say stuff to women as a man. As a result of that, that's one of the reasons why I never try to say anything along those lines to anybody unless I have some sort of strong indication that they would be into me in particular saying that to them.
Right.
Because it's one thing, it's kind of like pretty privilege, right? If you're a good looking person,
right,
you're far more likely to get a positive response regardless of what you're saying to somebody.
Right.
Just like if they just don't like you, you're far more likely to get a negative response no matter what it is you're saying. You could be saying, here's $5, and they'll be like, why are you near me, you creep? Right? If they don't like you at all.
Yeah.
And so the same sort of dynamic happens for women where you're perceived less as a threat generally speaking.
Yeah.
Unless the woman is like thinking that they're in competition with you as a woman.
Yeah.
For a man or another woman, whatever. If they feel like they're in competition with you, then they're less likely to be receptive to anything. Yeah.
And I get that. I really do, because I've worked with some. So here's the weird thing. There are lots of women I absolutely adore and love in everyday life. And I mean, like our followers and like all that. But I mean, just like in day-to-day life, the people I've had interactions with. But it's kind of, I was talking to Mommy the other day. Hi, Mommy.
Hi, Mommy.
Hi, Mommy. I actually got to see her today when I went into the store.
Nice.
To meet you for coffee.
Yeah, when you sent me that text, I was like, what the fuck? And then I was like, oh, yeah, the store near here closed.
Yeah,
so
yeah. I mean, it's open, but it doesn't have anything in it.
Yeah. And so this is probably, no, there's another Safeway near, probably just as far from her as ours. So I was kind of confused whether you were actually talking about your mother or not.
Yeah. Well, and the funny thing about it is she's already been to the other one once to kind of get a layout. And she said to me after she'd been to the other one, that one is huge.
It's way bigger.
I'm like, yeah, it's what, but they have a whole fucking hot case of Chinese food.
Yeah, I know. I used to go over there with Jeremy.
Yeah.
I used to go over there with Jeremy all the time.
Yeah, but it was so funny because remember how we were talking about standing in the middle of the aisle thing?
Yeah.
I get that from my mummy. Because like when I came in, I had to like gently move the cart over like foot by foot to get the doorway back open. And there was, I don't know if you saw him, there was a new security guy today there.
Oh, yeah.
And it was crazy because he looks like somebody I used to work with. So I had to look at him a few times. But I'm like, oh, yeah, you don't have that scar on your cheek like he does. So you're definitely not him, but you could totally pass for his cousin. I mean, that guy looks more like one of my favorite people I used to work with than his own brother does. So that was like really crazy. But
that dude actually made me think of Johnny when I saw him. Although obviously he's not Johnny. He's younger.
Because he's so laid back like Johnny.
Yeah.
Like there was a lady who was leaving the store where I was talking to Mommy, and he's like, "Can I see your receipt, please?" And she just kind of looked at him and kept walking. He's like, "Ma'am," and he didn't touch her or anything. He put both his hands up, and he said, "Ma'am, I need to see your receipt." And she's like, "What?" She didn't have her hearing aids in. So he couldn't see it. And then she couldn't hear him. And then he saw the receipt and he was just like, I just needed to see your, she's like, I'm so sorry. She's like, I'm really hard of hearing and I couldn't hear you. I don't have anything in today or something like that. And then the next lady was a Karen.
Of course.
And he was just like, how are you today, ma'am? Can I just double check your receipt? And she's like, oh my God, in my purse. And I'm just like, and he was so nice about it.
Yeah.
She was just, and he was just like, I can hold your items for you so you can pull it out. I'm not going to pull it out of my purse. Ask her. And she pointed down and kept walking out. And it was just like, you don't have to. Anyways, it really is not about, sometimes it is not about what you say, but how you say it.
Yeah.
Because she could have perfectly said, I understand you're trying to do your job, but I am in a hurry. I just came out of the line and the receipt is in my bag. So either you need to verify with them because I have to go. She didn't have to treat him that way.
Yeah.
And he was super cute. He was super sweet.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
You just made me think about the whole no trespass thing. And like, can you no trespass Karens? Actually, yes, you can, because you have the right to refuse service.
Yeah. So here's the crazy thing about that, right? Mm-hmm. And this is applicable to most of the big grocery stores. They won't no trespass a lot of people unless they've threatened physical violence or stolen over a certain amount, because corporate wants them to actually come back as paying customers. And it says like, you're so fucking stupid. But see, I know where the problem is as to why they're checking the receipts. Especially there was one lady pushing a cart and literally she had 4 things in her cart and she had a receipt. And he was just like, just need to check your receipt really quick. And she's like, can't you see what I have? And it was just like, bitch, you obviously don't understand what the word of check your receipt means. Yeah. Because, they have high water and soda theft there. Because people put them on the bottom of the cart. And then, of course, when they get caught on it, it's like, oh, my God, I totally forgot it was there. Did you forget about the 4 fucking bags of dog food you had stuffed under there, too? I mean, like, really? Like that see you next Tuesday. That one, Jesus Christ. Anyways.
Checkmate, see you next Tuesdays.
So
that was so fucking funny.
Anyways. So yeah, I didn't know if we should talk about it on this because a lot of it I find funny. And then I'm afraid I'm going to make you mad because I find it funny because my inner child does want to tease you a little bit. Be like, I got a booby hug and you didn't. And that's not nice.
I mean, there are advantages to being a female.
Yeah. And there's lots of disadvantages.
Yeah.
And what annoys the shit out of me is when I've had men tell me before there's no disadvantage to being female.
Hello.
I'm like, yeah,
have you the menstrual cycle, dumbass?
Right.
Like, what the fuck?
Like, yeah.
Being pregnant probably isn't fun, dumbass. No. What the fuck are you talking about?
It's not even just that. When you look at a big broad thing of it,
especially if you're short.
And you forgot your step stool. That's pretty good, yeah?
Yeah.
Nux. Yeah, I forget my step stool all the time. I don't remember what. There was a barista. Maybe it was a Sunday that I went in after you had already left. And I sat down to play my video game for a minute while they're making the drink. And they were like, oh, your drink's right here, Miss Jen. And I'm just like, oh, sorry, I couldn't see it. How couldn't you see it? Because I'm sitting the fuck down and the counter's taller than me.
Yeah.
Like, so I forget my step stool all the time. Anyways, I just didn't know if it was something we should really talk about on this forum or that forum, because on this forum, we can be definitely more goofy about it and I can bust your balls a little bit about it. But on the other forum, we kind of, I probably have a lot better examples of how it's so much easier to be me and give compliments and some of the things I've said, because I try to keep a lot of what I say on this side of things. NC-17, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, the 18 plus is literally just for the profanity we may need. Because we're really good about saying see you next Tuesday. I think I've only said the full see you next Tuesday word a couple of times when I've been really riled up over something.
The favorite of the British and Australians.
It's my second favorite word. I love MFer. I love MFer more than a fat kid loves cake. And I love me some fucking cake. I love the MFer word so much. And it was interesting because mommy, when I saw mommy, hi mommy. When I saw mommy the other day, we were talking about the podcast and she was talking about the fact, like, it kind of blows her mind that on the podcast we can, and she actually did a very good rendition of me when I'm pissed off. Fucking bullshit, motherfucker. Cocksucking asshole, blah, 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 blah. Right? She's a really good rendition of me. And I was just like, and you know where I get that from. She's like, I'm innocent. No, you're not.
I learned it from you, okay? I learned it by watching you.
I learned my profanity from watching you. So her opinion, which what I thought was really, really super, I understand it. It's a very old-fashioned opinion. Mm-hmm. She said she's always looked at it as when you use vulgarities or profanities in that degree, at that time, in conversation in general, right? Like, she's got any fucking room to talk. Ask her about the job she retired from some days, lady and gentlemen, and she'll tell you about those stupid motherfuckers. Let me tell you. Anyways,
Sweatinger, cocksucker.
And she was just like, she's like, there's so many other words out there. She goes, I think it's like, she goes, it kind of brings it across that you're stupid. And I looked at her, I said, me. And she goes, well, no, people who talk like that, like, they don't have a better vocabulary and everything. And I looked at her and I was just like, well, so there are actual studies out there about people who use copious amounts of profanity. Mm-hmm. Now, there are people out there, and I think you can tell when it's forced for somebody when they're trying to get like a comedic effect or whatever. Because it's like, so this one day, this motherfucker was walking down the street and this other motherfucker said, hey, motherfucker, what the fuck do you think your motherfucker's going to fucking do this later today? Fuck motherfucker. Right? So it's a very forced thing. When it's just part of your natural vernacular, it just rolls out at the right fucking time, right?
Yeah.
So I told her, I said, they've actually done a study that people who have profanity freely in their vocabulary, they are more creative people. They tend to be more honest people. And this is not based on, they took 10 guys or 100 people. This is tens of thousands of people they've done these different studies on all across the world. And it's come back. It's like this really huge percentage. They tend to be more honest. They tend to be more creative. They tend to be more open to new ideas. And they tend to be less judgmental.
Fuck that.
Yeah, fuck that shit. She was just like, but she's like, it's like dumbing people. It's like dumbing you down. I said, no, it's not. I said, because here's the thing, Mom. I said, when I used to choose my words and exclude profanity from it, and I would have a disagreement with somebody, and I would tell them, I don't appreciate you using that terminology on me. I would rather we have a conversation where our vernaculars are the same and we're respectfully understanding each other. I said, do you know what happens when you speak like that to somebody who's agitated? Bitch, you just think you're better than me. You fucking Miss Smarty Pants with your big fucking words. Blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, so, I've learned I didn't want to be called a smarty pants. I didn't like it because even though I really wish humans would reciprocate the respect I automatically give them that they have not earned, because I want to show them that they can have respect and how they need to give it back. These bitches just want to press my nerves sometimes over the years. I'm just saying. And so I told her, I said, and she goes, is that why? And I was just like, I've always used profanity. Even like, I'm sorry to tell you this, Mom, but as I can remember telling a teacher in second grade, was it second? It was either second or third grade. It was Mrs. Alexander, this very large African-American teacher. She was my favorite fucking teacher because I did young authors of America with her. And I remember she gave us this writing assignment, right? Mm-hmm. And I was just like, I don't want to do this shit. And she thought it was funny. And she said, listen, she goes, it doesn't bother me because that's really how you feel. She goes, but you can't talk like that. So I learned the difference between that. And like even my nephew's been allowed to talk however he wants, but profanity doesn't go to school, and be careful what you do at home. Mm-hmm. So it was a really interesting conversation with Mommy because I was just like, it's not that I'm dumb. It's not that I don't have a vocabulary that extends beyond, hey, how you doing, motherfucker? It's just, I want to be able to communicate with somebody in their comfort level because you can ask anybody who's had conversations with me. I can do it any way you want. You want to do it all professional? We can do it professional. You want to do it like the redacted high school rat I am? Okay, we can get ratchet. It's cool. But, it's interesting because how we communicate it as humans, everybody thinks, oh, if they have one interaction, they just think, oh, that person's so ratchet. That person is so déclassé, whatever, however you want to say it. And the reality is most of us who have had the experience of being called, oh, you're so a smarty pack. Look at you with your big fucking words. You tend to dumb your conversation down, not because you're assuming your challenger is stupid, but because you don't want your secret weapon to come out too early. I've seen you do it. Don't act like you ain't. I've seen you do it.
What do you mean?
You know exactly what I mean, where somebody's been all beep, 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 Dagda. And you're like, yep. And why is that? Because we don't argue with stupid people.
How are you so calm and collected all the time? I don't argue with stupid people. That's ridiculous.
Right?
Yep.
But the interesting thing about communication, so on my 12th time listening through to The Walking Dead, so this last time I went through The Walking Dead, I still got 6 more weeks before I can start listening to it again. And there's a reason for that. Okay. It actually helps me keep calm and helps me focus.
Okay.
Because they do so much fucking stupid shit in that show that is not scientifically possible.
Imagine what's going to happen when they invent smell-o-vision. You're going to stop watching fucking zombie shows.
No, I'm not.
I'm going to stop watching war shows.
No, I'm not. I'm just literally going to be like, oh, he just shit on himself. That's all it is. It's just like one big giant fart.
Do you like the smell of cordite?
On my 12th time through listening to The Walking Dead, here's the thing. It's something that just, I've seen when you're listening to a series and you're doing other things, right? You're not actually fully really giving it your attention. It's just kind of some background noise that's in there. You know what I mean? So it's there because you've already seen it or whatever. And it's just there and it kind of just plays that thing in the back of your mind, right? So there was something one of the characters said that I thought was really important. And since I actually heard that, I've worked very, very hard on how I communicate with my partner and how I communicate with other people. I think you might be the only person on the absolute planet that I don't have to think about that communication level so much.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like my partner, I just... like, if I'm frustrated, I'm going to screw my words up, but you understand that what I'm saying. And he understands me, but at the same time, if he's a little worked up, he might not understand the words I'm saying.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's perfectly normal. So I try to make sure that I'm very clear, concise, and enunciate well with him because I don't want him to be frustrated over something I'm frustrated at. Mm-hmm. And when I have a hot button, you know me, I'm like from how are you to go fuck yourself like that. Right.
Yeah.
So anyways, on this 12th time through of listening to The Walking Dead, and of course it's in season 11, there is a character. His name is Eugene Porter, and he is Mr. Smarty Pants. He's like super smart. He's almost Sheldon smart. Right.
Is he the fucking, God damn it. What's it called? He's the dude who was making the bullets.
Yes, he's the bullet maker.
Yeah. Him and his fucking
mullet.
Yeah. Which for some reason that fucking haircut's making a comeback.
Well, don't tell my heart. Don't tell my you can break a heart.
Any fucking way.
Yeah, Joe Dirt made it popular and Billy Ray just carried it on.
Dirty.
So anyways, something he said, and I thought it was really kind of made me reflect and think, and maybe it'll make other people reflect and think, I don't know. But he said the intent of his words do not excuse the impact of how they were received. And it quite literally in the scene where he's talking about it, because she's like, how didn't you know this? How didn't you know that? And he's just like, because I don't pick up on social cues very well. But it doesn't excuse the fact that I hurt your feelings, that I hurt you or anything like that. But like my intent was to be good to who I thought was you. So I thought it was interesting because I was just like, what does that actually mean? My intent does not excuse the impact. And I was just like, that probably would do a lot of people a lot better if they were able to take a half, even just a half a second to assess, like how you think, like with some things that you deal with, where you will take the time to process, like, what do I actually want to convey? If more people did that, if they thought about the fact that what they want to convey and what the impact they actually want it to be could be vastly different from the impact it's going to be.
Yeah.
And, you can have the best intentions in the world, but if you walk up on a girl and be like, and I hate to say this because I've heard this in my life and I've come to accept that it's a normal vernacular for most men who aren't intelligent enough to say it a different way, but not everybody's going to take it in the way I take it. And a lot of people actually a lot of women actually get offended by it because I've heard, girl, I like that wiggle in your jiggle. Now, me, I'm just like, okay, cool. You like voluptuous women. Nice, right? And I don't think anything about it because it's just like, everybody's somebody's cup of tea. Mm-hmm. Somebody's always trying to get laid and you ain't getting into my cookie jar because, I'm not down for Chips Ahoy when I want chocolate chunk cookies. Make sense?
Okay.
You might not get that, but my partner will probably get that. Right. But there's
Chunks the dog. Sorry, I just had a love line flashback. Anyway, carry on.
The point is that although I embrace that I'm a curvy girl, there are a lot of women out there who get really offended if you point anything like that out. Mm-hmm. And so your intent to compliment does not excuse the impact of you choosing words that hurt somebody, basically.
Yeah. I mean, that is exactly what I was saying. that is the fucking meaning of your communication, is the response that you get.
Yeah.
So just because you intend it as a compliment doesn't mean that they'll take it as such, regardless of how you say it. Because for reasons that we discussed earlier.
Yeah.
Also, some people just don't know how to take a compliment. Also, however, sometimes, because there's all kinds of people out there, right? You can say stuff to people because you want to impart information to them. You can say stuff to people because you want to get one over on them. You can say stuff to people just because you want to see the kind of reaction that they have.
Right.
And so, like, I knew some people who would say crazy shit to women just to weed them out.
Right.
And so, like, if you say certain things to a woman,
right,
you're going to get a response, and that response is all that they were caring about. They didn't care about the impact. They just wanted to see the response. And if they got a positive response, then it's golden. And then you continue from there with whatever the response is. Then you decide, okay, this response was positive, therefore we can continue with this conversation.
Right.
This response was negative, so I will fucking just walk on. And especially in the dating scene, in the club scene in particular, that's actually kind of useful.
Yeah.
You're not really going to be seen as the most stand-up type of person if you're doing this constantly, but you'll get results.
Yeah. And you know, the thing is that, so this would be my advice to anybody out there, male or female, wanting to compliment, or male or female, regardless of your experience. My thing is, if you want to compliment somebody and you see they're with somebody else, put the compliment on the somebody else. So if you're like a chick because he's like a hot guy, but you don't know if he's like with his sister getting coffee or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Your safest bet is just, if you want to look at him and be like, wow, fucking, you got really nice eyes, put the compliment on the female.
Yeah.
And if you're gonna give, and if you got two guys and you think the one's really cute and the other is not as cute, and you want to give that compliment, maybe instead of being like, dude, what's your friend's name? Because that guy's hot. Maybe instead of doing something like that, be like, you guys look like you're enjoying your day, and see how they respond back to you.
Yes. Because
it's just like, typically what'll happen, because I've been in that situation before where I've like, when I was single, I want to make that really clear because I'm really scared people are going to be like, is she doing stuff behind her partner's back? No, I'm always with you. I'm definitely not doing anything. He keeps me in line. He doesn't let me do anything.
Other than seeing Miss C and Miss Z behind our back.
Well, I mean, that's just the par for the course. Just saying. And I got a big squishy hug today and you didn't.
Mm-hmm.
But I've done that before. And I have found, and what I found interesting about it is that if the person is kind of intrigued or interested back in the one you're interested in, they usually are the first one to respond in a positive manner. Like, we're having a great day. Like, dude, I'm so glad you said, like, I've had that response. Mm-hmm. I've also had people, and my mother blessed me with a few things, and one of them happens to be hazel eyes. And I've actually been at a restaurant on a date before and saw a waiter, and I was like, thank you so much. And he was just like, oh my God, you're in front of my date. And I'm just like, thank you so much for being so kind and being patient. Because sometimes when I go to a restaurant, it takes me a little bit to decide. Because it's like, am I feeling chicky today or beefy today? Am I feeling porky today? Am I feeling veg today? Like, it takes me a minute to think about what I actually want, depending on who I'm with. Especially back in the day when I was on dates, it was just like, like, dude, I really want this big fat fucking bowl of pasta, but I don't want to, I don't want to come across that way because I will make noise when I eat pasta. So I've actually been on a date at the Mexican restaurant you like.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I was actually on a date there once, and the waiter had to come 3 different times before I was ready to order. And I was just like, thank you so much for being so patient. And he's just like, your eyes are really pretty. And I'm like, oh, thank you. And my date's like, literally just like, can we order now? And I'm like, I'm so sorry. I just wanted to say thank you for his patience. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to him. I dated that guy. I went on like 4 dates with that guy. Was it 4 dates? Maybe it was only 3. I don't fucking know. Nah, it had to have been 4, maybe 5. Anyways, he ended up being a tool bag. And I say that because I think when you're a grown adult, when there's certain agendas you have for yourself, you need to make that really fucking clear.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't be like you start seeing somebody and you're tentatively considering like doing that dating thing, right? So his thing was, well, I don't work there anymore. It doesn't matter. He was one of 2 guys who used to come out to the shop I used to work at doing lawn care and would, I say service the vehicles, and there's going to be somebody out there going, oh, but they were. Okay, like, look, the one, we did a hitter quitter, and that was it. And that's because his dick was so small. I'm not a size queen, but for fuck's sake, your dick was bigger than his.
And mine's minuscule.
That is right. It's minute. It was, and I think my clit was bigger than his dick. Wow. And then the other one was the one who would be more what I would say the typical person I used to date, which was, kind of chunky, kind of taller, kind of nerdy or whatever. But his agenda was to try to get me to marry him as quick as possible.
Okay. He
lived in a gated community, and I went over there one day to watch movies with him. And all of a sudden he's talking about like, yeah, once we get you moved in, you can sell your house and this, that, and the other. Was just like, dude, this is our second date. What the fuck are you talking about? Yeah. And like, it was only like his house to my house was only like 4 miles. But like he proceeded to tell me all of his financials and all that. And it was just like, so I'm very much a firm believer of have an agenda first. Do you want a casual date? Do you want a this date? Do you want a that? I think that if you go into a conversation with the intention to somebody of being honest, but choosing how you say that honesty, you don't want to look at a woman and say, I want to fuck you right now. You choose your words a little better. Like, you seem like an intriguing person. I would love to conversate with you more. Yeah.
I've seen that first one go down, and
I've seen it work, and like once out of 9 times if not.
Yeah, like the dude liked to do that. Like every time we went to a club, he would just go around and say that. And of course, most of the interactions went poorly.
Yes.
Some of them violently so.
Yeah, I don't doubt that.
But he went home with more women than any of the other dudes that I know.
Right. But if you do the math on it, if you ask 100 different women out, you got a 3% chance. So, I mean, hey, 3's more than 0.
And it depends a lot on who's asking.
Yes.
But like I said, there's pretty privilege. So the dudes have pretty privilege too. And so obviously the better looking dude, the more likely it's going to fucking work out in his favor.
See, and what's really funny is what I consider good looking is so vastly different from like the majority of people, because I remember this one year they put a celebrity on the cover of People magazine and said the most handsome man in the world. And I remember looking at the grocery store clerk. I'm like, who fucking did the surveys? Uppity grandmas of America? Ugh.
I mean, they do that every year.
Right. But there was 2 in particular. And I just don't find them attractive. I don't think they're mentally attractive. I don't think they're physically attractive. Yeah. I don't think they're aesthetically attractive. Mm-hmm. I'm just like, ugh.
Yeah, you don't have to.
But I'm just like, but right, I don't have to. So it's like really weird to know that I'm in the minority of what I think good looking is. And I think it's probably because aesthetics is the lower on my list of everything. Yeah. So I assess people differently when I first meet them. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's not, I don't just go, you got a pretty mouth. Blah. I'd like to sit on your face. I don't do that. Yeah. I'm like, I literally have looked at people that I'm just like, I wonder if that person's like, especially like back in the day when I was single and I did go to bars and I'd see, 2 or 3 guys hanging out, like literally hanging out at the bar, like an old barfly. And they're sitting there and they're just like slack jaw look. And they're just like, and They're just listening to the music, their mouths hanging open, their clothes are disheveled. And I kind of do that analysis in my head going, well, maybe they've had a couple of beers. Maybe that's where the clothes are disheveled. But at least their clothes are clean. So I'm going to walk by them on the way to the bathroom because I think that one might be kind of cute, but I can't tell because it's kind of dark. I even remember what bar this actually happened in. It's not even, well, there was 2 bars that happened in, and one was called, I can't say because it doesn't matter. Anyways, so they're both on relatively the same end of town.
Okay.
Way over there by Mama D.
Yeah.
They're literally both so close to Mama D.
Okay.
And anyways, or were. And I remember doing a sniff test as I walked by. Nope, I just smell beer. Okay, that's good. I smell beer. And the one that ruined it for the one guy who was smiling at me and trying to wave me over was he smelled like Old Spice.
I love Old Spice.
I love Old Spice, but that's
Your
what my
grandpa?
father.
Okay.
No, my grandfather smelled like chewing tobacco and coffee.
I mean, some chewing tobacco actually smells pretty good.
Skull, but not when it's dribbled all over your chin.
Yeah.
But that's what he smelled like was Skull. Excuse me, not Skull. Copenhagen. Yeah, my grandfather smelled like chewing tobacco and coffee at all times, day and night. I only remember seeing my grandfather drink water like maybe 3 or 4 times. Otherwise, he drank coffee, and I did see him drink lemonade a few times.
He's all about the caffeine, nicotine.
And his milk, he didn't just drink milk. He had to have popcorn in his milk.
What?
That's how my grandfather ate his popcorn, was he made a popcorn, put it in a bowl, and put milk on it. That's how he ate it.
So basically he made cereal, but just using popcorn.
Basically he made corn pops. Instead of sweet, it's salty.
I actually talked to several of the girls at the coffee shop a while back about biscuits.
The buttermilk biscuits.
Yeah, so they were talking about somebody, one of them knew, would just take pieces of bread apparently and pour milk over it and eat it that way. And I'm like, well, I used to do that with biscuits, like the day after they were made.
Sure.
We'd just break them up and then pour milk and then some sugar on them. It was actually really good.
Yeah. I can remember doing that with cornmeal biscuits because it's like having mushy cornflakes, number one.
Yeah, we almost never had cornmeal or cornbread.
You never had corn muffins?
No,
which is not like cornbread.
I don't think we ever had corn muffins growing up.
It's got cornmeal in it. It's got like flour and cornmeal in it. So it's not like a Johnny cake. It's not like, anyways. So yeah, makes sense. Either way. So then if you used more of an AP flour, then that would have been more like, oh, soggy shredded wheat. Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, kind of. Because they would dry out over the course of the day. And so they'd be less pleasant to eat by themselves unless you reheated them or something and ate them with lots of butter or jam or something like that. Yeah. Which I never did, and just fucking eat the biscuit.
And it makes sense to me that, especially because I watch so many cooking shows, it makes sense to me that somebody would take bread and dip it in milk, because Japanese culture, Korean culture, they very much are very known for milk bread. And it's a huge thing that they have treats like they'll take the milk bread and they'll cut off all the crust. And you can use the crust for something else later, right? And they'll put like a sweet jam or some chocolate or peanut butter in it, and they'll seal it and fry it, and that will be a milk bread treat. And of course, they make stuffed milk bread and all that, so it makes sense. Anyways, the day is getting long. Yep. Or at least that. And that airplane is flying way too. I fucking cannot stand how low these planes fly anymore. It causes me so much stress. It used to be better when I first lived in this neighborhood. They were a little higher up, but now it's not. During COVID, it was fantastic because they didn't really fly very much at all. It was so great. Anyways, so I'm going to say men and women can compliment and talk to each other as long as they choose their words wisely, and use that tip and trick. If you see a guy you think is cute, if you see a lady that's cute and they're with the opposite sex or even the same sex, make the compliment about the other person or a joint compliment. Or do what Dagda does. Just stare and go, and don't say a fucking thing.
Can't get in trouble if you don't say anything. Well, that's not entirely true. But if you don't interact with people, you tend to not fucking have negative interactions.
Right. But the good thing for Dagda is he's got a strong wing woman next to him every time we go out, because I've seen women who have watched you walk to go take care of something across the store. And I'll be like, he's single, right? I'm like, that's my brother. He's single. What do you do? I've actually done that a few times.
Nice. You can tell by the way I use my walk. I'm a ladies' man. No time to talk.
That's right.
Any fucking way.
There's only been a couple of ladies' hearts I've had to break for you. And I'm just like, you can ask me about it when we're doing After Darks. You guys, thank you for joining us again. We meant to have a more funny conversation, but I think we got a little serious today, which is okay. It's okay. I mean, that's just part of our personality.
Why so serious? Sirius Black. I should change my name to Sirius Black. Sirius Quarter Black.
How about you're like,
Sirius
no. Sirius Ginger Black. Okay, you guys, like, share, subscribe, comment. Again, we appreciate it. We really, really do. Enjoy any of the comments. Content out there. We hope you're enjoying it. Please drop us a line. You can email us, Facebook, Patreon, Discord. We got some new Discord followers. Thank you guys very, very much. There's lots of ways to get a hold of us. There's lots of ways to get us messages. And there's lots of ways to let us know, oh, I want to hear you two debate disco. I'm down if he's down. But
staying alive. Anyway, carry on.
Anyways, we appreciate you guys. And we hope you're having just as much fun as we do.
Punk's not dead.
Anyways, until next time, later.
Fucking stops copies me.
Savage.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, everybody. That's all the time we have for today. So I want to thank you for stopping by to enjoy the conversation. We're glad you're here. And please share and share again and share some more. And if you haven't already, subscribe. We'll be having another chat and another cup soon. We'll talk to you then. Look forward to seeing you.